Hey, it's me Josh here again, working on the GPRSHO project. I guess we're calling it the really big engine that's going into the jet ski. Alright everybody, the goal today is to get the GPRSHO just completed and up and going. A few things need to happen before that can be accomplished. I gotta get the engine in, I gotta sort out the electrical, do all the wiring, finish up the gauge pods. All that needs to happen before this. I'm doing the gauge pod cluster today. These are the gauges off the FCR, and obviously if you guys have been following along, you know I bought an FCR that comes with that giant Yamaha engine, and I'm just trying to use as many parts off that as I can to keep the cost down. So I gotta get this gauge pod mocked up onto my GP1200R. Alright, so check this out. This is the dash cluster for the GP1200R. Obviously I used the engine stand to roll it on over here, but the problem that I'm running into is the FZR gauge pod or gauge cluster. It really doesn't want to fit into that particular space. It's close, but basically the edges here it hits on, and it'd be really difficult to get this bezel to go right up in there. So here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a nice aluminum backing for this bezel thing, and then this will, to make this like one kind of package type of deal. So I'll have an aluminum backing on here, and it'll sit out just a little bit, kind of like that or something. And then we'll have an aluminum plate here, and just, you know, a small spacer, so it will all fit up, and it should look pretty tidy with it all being made out of aluminum. I don't want it to look like crappy, and I feel like just doing like grafting with the plastic stuff will look crappy, whereas kind of like an aluminum like extension bezel type deal will look sort of okay. At least that's the plan anyways. Alright, so first of all I want to get rid of these tabs. I'm gonna have a different way of hooking it up to the backing plate, so these tabs obviously gotta go. I'll probably just have to use the angle grinder on those. I'm sure it's around here somewhere. Sucky part about this is the plasticky smell that it makes. Actually, this is kind of just a fact. It's almost funny, but not really funny, that I couldn't get any like dust masks or face masks when I tried to go buy some like a couple of weeks ago. And obviously, I got my hat on backwards. That's just great. Obviously, it's because of the whatever you want to call it that's going on, the disease thing. So, but Jason actually gave me this mask to borrow so that I don't have to breathe in nasty stuff, which is pretty great. The only thing is, it doesn't have the canisters on it. I wonder if he knows that. I'm just opening the garage. I gotta air it out a little bit. It smells a bit plasticky, so just don't love that smell. Alright, now I gotta trace this bad boy out. I don't know why I call it a bad boy, but you know, words. There we go. Now I got the rough shape for my backing plate. Here's the piece. Oh my gosh, that was a giant pain in the backside. Now I gotta clean it up quite a bit with this sanding pad. There we go, looking pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. All right, check it out. That's the backing plate. It honestly, it's pretty good. It's better than I thought I would get with those particular tools. I think I'm gonna go with that for now. Now I gotta build a little plate that goes on this I need to build a plate that goes on this section now, and then obviously the little spacer. Okay, for this part, I want a nice clean looking piece, so my best friend, cardboard, pen, and scissors. Nice curvature there. I do want both sides to be exactly the same, so let's just do the old fold it in half technique. Learned this in kindergarten. Now obviously I can just transfer this design onto the aluminum and cut that out. Here is that piece for right there. And we're just gonna have a 1-inch extension. Then I'll connect to that piece just like that. And boom, perfect. Now I gotta drill a couple of holes for the wires to go through. I'm going to come back to these gauges a little bit later in the video when I'm actually installing them onto the Waverunner here. Alright, now I need to set up this GPR hole for the extra pisser that I need. I mean, it feels kind of weird to call it a pisser, but these things do shoot water out, and I don't really know what else you would call them. So, but anyway, the FCR that this engine came out of has 3 pissers. The GPR only has 2, so I gotta drill a hole for the extra pisser that I need. Alright, I have to go inside of the hole and drill out a spot for the other pisser that I need. I've got the fuel tank removed, everything's removed, so I can get in there and hopefully fit. Here you can see these are the 2 pissers that I needed on this side. I got those all installed. And here is the single pisser on the other side. It just goes to the intercooler. While I got this fuel tank out, I'm going to go ahead and remove the fuel pump assembly and check and see how clean the fuel tank is and take a quick look at the fuel filter on this fuel pump assembly. Cleaning out the fuel tank. Couple of pieces of sand in here, and I'm gonna drop this thing back in, get it all popped back together so I can be done with this and get this installed and be done with the whole fuel tank thing. I'm currently preparing this engine to go into the GPR. Hopefully this is the last time I have to shoehorn it in there. Obviously that's knock on wood, fingers crossed type of deal, but I'm getting ready to shoehorn it in there for the last time, hoping that it'll fit in there with the intercooler on. I think it will. And this intercooler would be just a huge pain to try to put on there with it inside the ski. Other thing I'm trying to take care of is the water line to the bottom of the intercooler. So this line plugs in here and it goes all the way to the back of the ski. Don't really want to try to mess with that when it's inside there. So got that. Now I'll just put it like so. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna hopefully film this whole engine going in process. Hopefully for the last time. All right, everything was going so perfectly smooth, so obviously I forgot something, which was to remove the mid shaft to make the installation easier. So I'm gonna do that now off the camera and then we'll resume. And now we are back to dropping the engine in. Now I just gotta pop the mid shaft in, and then I'll scoot the whole motor back to get it engaged with the mid shaft. All right, I figured I would film this moment. I'm hoping it goes as smoothly as my mind thinks it will. So, here we have the coupler just about to slide together. I'm adjusting basically the tilt on the engine. And if you could just push the hull forward for me. Okay, that's...
Are you talking to the YouTube people?
Yes.
Everyone push with him.
Yeah, I don't need any help anymore pushing it.
Well, they did a really good job, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks, everyone, for reaching out with your mind and pushing it.
Oh, my Lord. All right, there we go. Coupler is together. And it is setting on its mounts. And this line's not getting pinched, which was one of the things I was concerned about. So there you go. Engine installed, hopefully for the last time. Knock on wood, of course.
Yeah, I really hope that it is, but it just never is.
Well, fortunately, it's pretty quick for me to get this in and out.
Yeah.
That time took about 20 minutes to get it in.
You put the reps in.
But, so it's not like I'm scared of pulling it out if I have to adjust something or whatever. Do you have like a good joke to tell them?
I do, but I'm saving it for later. I want it on my video. It's really good, though. You're definitely going to want to watch my video.
Okay. Obviously, I got the motor in. Everything's coming right along. I just kind of wanted to stop and go over the engine alignment, or let me kind of point it out here. The alignment on this drive shaft here, or the engine alignment, whatever you really want to call it. Okay, this is all about setting up your shims, these guys right here. I actually already did this off camera. I ran out of battery, whatever. But figured I would go over this real quick with you guys anyway. The goal is to figure out what shims you need where. So, a nice thing, the spec that I'm seeing everybody kind of using is like a 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 millimeter space. And that is right here in these cracks. So that's like the spacing for engine forward and backward. And this happens to be a 2 millimeter shim. So I can just pop that in there, and I can just go all the way around. I should have a nice even all the way around. And now for like your up-down alignment, you take a straight edge, or like the straight edge of the shim here, and you're looking for it to be flat from this to this. Like that. Like that. Basically, you can just get a light and shine it on the side. And if you see any light coming through, then you'll see how you need to adjust it. So anyways, I got my up-down squared away. I've got your side to side, like, you want to have it flat like on the sides as well, but you can kind of like shift the engine over more than like shim for up. The shims are kind of for up and down, and you can kind of slide your engine side to side. So you get your sides, your top, everything flat. Get all your gaps the same, and you know that you're all set. Obviously, you could definitely go a lot more in depth on this, and like I said, I did it before. You're kind of supposed to do it with the rubber piece removed. Get your shims all figured out, like which shims go where. Pull your motor forward again, put the rubber piece in, and then just slam all your shims in. Kind of tighten it down, recheck it, and make sure. But like I said, I did that before, and then my GoPro was out of battery, so I just kept working. I'm really doing a lot of busy work here, just kind of like nothing really film worthy, you know, like hooking up water lines, hooking up exhaust, that sort of thing. Now I'm about to put the electrical in, like all the wiring and whatnot. I'm saving this hose kind of for the end when all electrical's in because it might get in my way. I just kind of made some adaptations to make the... It's just kind of like the E-box for this FCR. Just kind of making that fit mount up where the original 1200 one would mount. It's just I just kind of drill holes in plastic and just kind of things like that. I had to be careful not to drill into anything important though. Okay, so this is something kind of important and noteworthy, so let's go ahead and talk about it. This has to do with the forward reverse. The FCR, which is the donor ski we're getting the engine from, kind of showing what you got to take off to get to the reverse. And here's the reverse handle, and it has a sensor on it. All right, so here's the sensor here, and this is just the reverse slide handle thing. And I got this tip from Sam from Elite Customs, so I'm glad I talked to him about it, or else I wouldn't have even thought about this. But in forward, it kind of connects this sensor, and in reverse, it disconnects it. And so in reverse, it actually limits the ski to 4,000 RPMs. So if I didn't have this connected, like so, then the ski would always be limited to 4,000 RPM. So kind of important. And I was like, oh, I could just jumper the wires, you know, but it is a 3-wire sensor. So it's not just as simple as jumpering the wires together. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and remove the sensor from this handle because we're not going to have this handle on the GPR. Going to remove that. I'll just duct tape the... I believe this is just a magnet. I think that's what Sam told me. And just duct tape it onto the sensor so it thinks it's always in forward. So while I was here, I went ahead and took this steering piece out and greased it all up. So now it's nice and smooth and tight. So it's just one of those things where while I'm this far down, I might as well take care of it. So I went ahead and did that. It would have driven me nuts if I hadn't taken care of that. Now back to working on the gauges. This is my adapter plate to adapt to the FCR gauges. That is how it's going to be sitting in the ski. I mean, I want to get a little more better looking than that. Obviously the gauges will be here as well. The only part you'll really see is back here when this compartment is open. And I'm kind of hoping to, you know, refine this and make it something even nicer as time goes on. But I can't really get an idea what it's going to look like till I get the whole ski put together. And this thing I should be able to, hopefully I'll be able to just pop it in and out and be able to refine it and mess with it a little bit later on. Alright, I just kind of was fitting the battery box and the electrical panel, or the E-box, battery box, whatever. Just kind of fitting that all up, getting the flush thing hooked up. There's a whole bunch of like electronic-y stuff here. I got to put the entire wiring harness in as well. I got quite a bit of this hooked up now. I think it might be enough so that we can start this thing. I just got to go ahead and put some fuel in it and see if it'll start. That was the first fire. Obviously I'm not going to run it because I have the door closed. I couldn't tell if the fuel pump was priming, but I guess it is. Let me open the garage door, we'll fire it up again. I don't want to run it too long because I'm not hooked up to water, but obviously it's late. Probably tomorrow I will hook some water up to this, maybe put some more of it together. We'll see. I went ahead and put the rest of this together tonight, and you can see how it all fits together. Check out how the gauges fit, and that's it for tonight. Probably fire this thing up on the hose tomorrow. There it is running. I've ran it a little bit. Obviously, you guys saw last night in the garage. The double pisser over here. You can see it runs smooth. Just kind of a look at it. Trying to see if it's going to have anything come out this pisser over here. This one is hooked up to the intercooler. Checking for any leaks or anything inside. Seems to be okay. Take a listen to that exhaust note. There you go. The next time you see this thing, I'll have it out on the water. We'll be taking it for a rip, I guarantee it. So if you want to see that, leave a like on this video. Jetskibrothers.
Guys,